Hi guys! What episode are we on? 5. Wow. That's like a mini-series on the BBC or something, you know? Listen, I agree. I think American TV shows sometimes are too long, like the 24 seasons of it all. But sometimes I kind of want more than like 6 episodes of something. And that's just my truth. Like, Glee, I rewatched Glee, as I said in my last episode. 24 episodes. Was it something like that? Like, that's actually too many. Now, for something like Glee, I'm loving every second. But that must be hard. That must be hard to write 24 episodes of something and have, original thoughts and interesting storylines. Because I've been doing this for 5 episodes and I'm pretty confident I've talked about the same things every week. And I imagine I'm going to do the same this week. Because what's that? No, guys, you guessed it. I don't have a plan. I want to talk about, you know what? I just want to talk about life. I do want to talk about books, actually, because I was only talking to my bestie about books. She texted me this morning to be like, hey, fuck you. Well, she didn't say that. But she was giving out to me because I bought her a book that I loved. It was an Emily Henry book, a classic. If you know, you know. And she was like, I was up till 3 a.m. reading it. And she was like, I haven't been able to, I've been in a reading slump for a while and this really brought me back. And I was like, girl, you just got to find the genre of book you like. That's the key. And there's a lot of discussion online about, and I think it's often directed towards the girlies that like the rom-coms and the sexy books, about how there's like an anti-intellectual movement happening. But this is my 2 cents. Guys, 2 things can be true at once. Sure, that can be an issue, and I agree, right? And in lots of cases, sure. But if I want to read a book about a 500-year-old elf, fucking, honestly, often like a barely legal woman, which I'm kind of not cool with, but like, a woman, like, let me do that. And let's not pass on shame. It's giving Victorian. It's like, oh, people are like, oh, well, everyone, people can't read unless they're smut. Okay. And what's the problem? What, women enjoy sex through the written word? Why is that an issue? Hey, why is that an issue? There's still books about, I like literary fiction as far as I'm concerned from everything that I've read. When it's like women based, it's like, there's this woman and she's incredibly skinny and beautiful and she's so clever and everyone's in love with her, but she fucking hates her life and there's no real discernible reason, but she hates it and she makes it everyone's problem. Okay, me though, okay, that's my autobiography, that's my memoir. What's the difference? There's apparently a difference between a memoir and an autobiography. You know what? And that's a Google away. But I don't really, sometimes it's nice to have a question. Sometimes it's nice not to have all the answers, because I do. And that's something that's why I'm making a podcast. It's because I have so many things to say and so much advice to give that I don't actually need Google. Who, me, Google? No, I don't need her. I just know. When someone asks me a question that needs, like cold hard facts behind it or research of some description, I just close my eyes and the answer that comes to me, I know is true because I'm true of heart. Anyway, I love a smutty book. Are you joking? Guys, what you need to know about me is I'm an incredibly horny woman. Okay? Like I love it. And like not horny in like a sexy Megan Fox, like, ooh, boobs, because I don't have any, but more in like an elderly librarian who like writes erotica in her spare time. That's how I mean by horny now. Like, and I just love it. I love reading about it. And like, that is my right. Women died for my right to read sexy books. Girls, if we keep shaming women for reading smutty books, like we're going backwards. Women aren't allowed to enjoy sex, and there can be a full stop behind that, okay? And yes, obviously, some things are bigger conversations, but let's not shame. It feels shamey. It feels like people are like, well, I don't want to read about sex, so I find it disgusting that you do. Hey, mama, what I read is honestly none of your business. And if I want to go online and talk about it, and if I want to create like a TikTok account and be like, hey, here are the sexy books that I really enjoy, and I'm going to let you know about it. Hey, that's not an invitation for you to start judging me. Okay, just scroll. Just scroll. And I think the thing that is the worst thing about the world right now, okay, there's so many awful things. There's actually and there's way more, like there's war going on, like a lot of it. And that's worse than what I'm about to say. But we now live in a world where like everyone's opinion seems to sit at equal footing online, okay? And I believe that everyone should have an opinion about things, but like sometimes people's opinions, like we shouldn't listen to them. I put up a video on TikTok like 2 days ago where I could, like, guys know, and I've privated the video. Like, it couldn't have been a stupider video. It couldn't have been. I couldn't have more obviously be making a stupid joke. It was a joke about how I think it's alarming when people that you see in authority, I was thinking like my boss, all of a sudden he's wearing shorts. And I'm like, whoa, those are your calves. Like, I don't need to see that, right? And instead of people being fucking normal about it, I got DMs telling me I was ugly. I got loads of like people screenshotting videos and being like, oh, but you're ugly. Now we all think you're ugly. All these like, grown-ass men, and including one of my old lecturers. Guys, this man is, I'm going to say it, so like believes that he's right about everything. Saw a video, told me to stop body shaming people. He did not realize, like, he must have just forgotten my face. Imagine being a grown man. No, imagine being a grown man and DMing me about how his opinion on women and their clothes. And I was like, no, and baby girl, like, I'm not making a statement about men and bodies. And like, you're actually, hey, and actually, you're stupid. Okay? And like, that's it. But I won't lie to you guys. I was hungover and I was reading all the hate comments and I was like, actually, you know what? I don't need to do this. This is the choice, and I can just private the video, because while collectively these men have one brain cell, like, and I'm gonna back up about my lecturer, because sometimes the things he said in that classroom were crazy. Oh my god, they were crazy. You know what? He's got a bad case of the thinks that he's got a really great opinion about everything. And I know what you're thinking, Alice, would you make a podcast? And sure, but I actually don't stand by anything that I say, ever. So I was so hungover. Like, I'm on like the second day of a hangover right now. And actually, guys, it's not worth it. Hey guys, and actually drinking is bad for you. And hey guys, and it's not worth your money or your time. But on the flip side, like, if you want a few glasses of wine, like, go for it. You know, that whole like Stephen Bartlett thing where he was like, I had 3 glasses of wine and then my day was ruined because I couldn't like optimize my thing. Hey, we're not robots. Optimization, you are a bag of blood. Okay? That's what you are. You're a bag of blood walking around the place. And we don't need to, like, what are you talking about? No, and actually, what are you talking about? Imagine sitting there with a caveman and trying to, like, explain looks maxing to them. Or, no, and I love that it's called looks maxing. And not just, like, I have body dysmorphia or, like, whatever. It's crazy. And it's crazy how people are now, like, just, like, shrouding eating disorders and encouraging like very, very bad self-esteem, and always feeling like you should, like, be better, whatever that means, into like just cloaking it as if like, oh, I'm bettering myself. See, the girlies that grew up in the early noughties get it. Mama's like, you have eating disorders, and that's a problem, and I hope you get help. Protein isn't gonna, and this is another thing, like, every other day there's another thing that's meant to like fix you, like this, like you know what gets me so bad is when people are like, oh, I only eat this because it's all natural. I don't do use skincare with chemicals in it. Girl, what do you think skincare is? What do you think skincare is? What happened in the world that like the word chemical is now bad? Like, it's not like that. It's not that easy. Imagine if the world just like fit into tiny little boxes and we were like, this is bad and this is good. And actually, that's not how the world works. Okay? Things aren't just a good, bad. That's not, we don't moralize food. Okay? First of all. But like, I've had people in my life in the past that will be like, oh no, but I can't eat that, or I can't drink that, and I can't. And I'm like, girl, and I wish you'd give yourself a fucking break. Me talking to me. No, and actually me talking to me. I'm so good at like being like, no, babe, stop. But then my brain is a torture chamber every day. So like, that's so funny. But yeah, alcohol though, like, so, guys, I don't know if I've mentioned this, but I have ADHD. No, I have. I've mentioned it so many times. But, and I'm not saying this is for everyone, but like for a lot of, ADHD has a lot of, I guess, correlations with issues with substances. Okay? Whoa! That's a crazy thing to talk about. But anyone that has known me in my life, like I have a complicated relationship with alcohol, especially when I was younger. Like, well, you know, yeah, sure. Like college was a crazy time for me because, and I think if you don't go through it, like you just like couldn't understand, right? And that's okay as well. But it's like, for me, alcohol was like when I found her, it was like, oh my God, this makes all of the bad thoughts stop. I was like, oh my guys, I found the cure. Hey, there's like this thing called alcohol, and if you drink it, like you feel good. And I struggled with like depression and anxiety so much, which I think, you know, looking back now, was probably always ADHD, right? But and all of a sudden I could drink something and it would go away. Like, and I was like, why is no one talking about this? Of course everyone was. But then and I'm so unbelievably jealous of people that just like don't need that to get a quiet brain. You know, and now I have to like, and I'm in the process and have been for years now of trying to befriend the voice in my head. Girl, she's a cunt. So like, it's really hard. Like, I really don't like her. Like, I don't like what she stands for. She's a bitch, you know. She's always late to things. She just has, she's kind of got no personality. Is that what I would say? Like, she's just mean. She's a mean girl. And trying to befriend her, it's difficult, but we're getting there. Right? And like, it's really annoying that I had to I've had friends and people in my life who I've been so jealous of, where they're like, oh, like I'll just have a drink and then I'm done, or like I actually don't really like going out, and I'm like, oh, okay. And I love that for you. I wish it could be me. Right? But we're getting there, girls. We are doing a lot of work over the last few years around my mental health, which has been hard, but ultimately good. And you know what? The work that the men in my comments the other day, just I would put money on aren't doing. And men love to do everything but go to therapy. And let's actually talk about it. Like, they love to do everything but go to therapy. And you're like, girls, like, we are sidestepping the problem here, right? This is how I feel, okay? When I see men get aggressive or act out like they're prone to do, I am like, this is actually so embarrassing. Like, you obviously have like some issue with your dad, right? Like, so this is obviously like, it's like, if I can therapize you, someone who has absolutely no qualifications, if I'm looking at you and you're like, and it's so obvious why you're like this, and it's so avoidable, my sweet boy. Like, you're ruining everyone's life because you are too afraid to talk about your feelings. That is so, like, that's so not chic. I just, oh my God, like, just, hey, maybe let's like put down atomic habits and let's go seek medical professional help, right? And like, you can read Atomic Habits, we're gonna go for it, you know, go for it. But, you know, waking up and going to the gym at 6 a.m. isn't going to fix everything. Hey, you know what it will fix? Like it will give you some motivation. I love, like, working out's great. You might, build some muscle, taking care of your body, great. But it's not going to fix the problem that, like, you have anger issues and you punch holes in the wall. Like, that's not going to fix that. It might help a little bit, but what's going to fix that is facing why you do it in the first place. And hey, I'm going to say something that maybe is the first time some people hear. It's hard for everyone to go to therapy. Hey, don't guys, it's actually hard for all of us to go to therapy. I have therapy in a few hours and I'm fucking dreading it. Like, I don't want to go. But I live in a society and I have, I have a partner. I have friends. I have family. I have colleagues. I have people I have to interact with. So I understand that I can't just bring in all of my problems and dump them on everyone else and then be like, about it. So I'm trying to work on it. And it's hard. Hey guys, it is hard. And some days I fail miserably at it. But I'm trying, and that's something. Right? See now, and the thing is, my audience is, I'm going to say 99.9% women and gay men. And I'm hoping some other demographics like gay women and non-binary people. I don't really, if I'm being honest, I want my demographic to be straight men. So who am I talking to right now? I don't know. Okay? And actually, after 2 days ago, I don't want them to find me again. And there are straight men that are pure of heart. Hey, I'm married to one, right? And I have friends, shockingly, I have friends that are straight men that are good guys, right? And they exist, and it's not all men, but it's enough. It's enough that I don't want them near me. And I don't want them in my comment section, and it's not because and I really mean this, it's not because people hurt my feelings, because they were saying things that are just like are categorically not true. They were like, you're not funny. That's actually not true. Guys, guys, stop. I've actually won a little award for comedy before, so I don't, I don't and I don't think people understand this. Like, you're like, oh, well, now I don't find you attractive. No, and that's okay. I don't find you attractive either. And if I'm being frank, I don't want to attract you. I'd like to do the opposite. So I'm glad this is working, right? But yeah, that happened, and I was about to say I didn't care, but I obviously do, because I've spoken about it now for about 20 minutes. So I obviously did, right? And that's okay as well. I think it would have been less weird if like a real human man that I've met who clearly doesn't remember people. And it wasn't that long ago, girls. It wasn't that long ago that he was my lecturer, okay? And he was just like, and I think that's what I was like. I was like, whoa, you're an idiot. And you should stop commenting on people's profiles when you're a man of education. When you meet students every day, maybe just check if they're one of your ex-students before you comment. Hey, but I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. I want to talk about some of the books I love, because I love books. Guys, I love it. This is how it happened. This is how books happened for me. This is how I found books. This is how books came into my life, right? Like Jesus. I read when I was younger, but I was never like a huge bookworm. And that was never me. Loved a bit like Nancy Drew when I was a kid. Loved a series of unfortunate events, although #traumatizing. I had to sleep in my parents' bed after reading book 2 because I couldn't get out of my mind the way Count Olaf killed Uncle Monty. Hey, and maybe that was book 3. I can't remember. But it was, and they were crazy. He was a murderer. But I hadn't really been a huge reader. And then when I would go on holidays, I'd like read maybe like a book or two, like like every like maybe like once a year I'd read like a book, and it would be like at the beach, and that would kind of be it. But I was going to Lisbon with Dylan, and I was at the airport and I picked up a book, and because I'm going to be frank with you, like it was sexy. Okay, was it good? No, I mean, no, I didn't love it, but I read it and it was like a tap opened in my brain. Actually, that's not true. It's like the next book I read, that's what happened. Because I was like, oh, that was kind of fun and cute. And then my friend Maeve was like, hey, I have this book called The Love Hypothesis. Do you want to read it? Do I? Yes. And I read it in one day. And that's why I believe Ali Hazelwood deserves the Nobel Prize. I think like it was, I love rom-coms so much. I always have, like I've always loved watching them, and I used to get so frustrated because there was only so many, and I kind of had seen them all, or at least that's how it felt. And then I read The Love Hypothesis and I was like, whoa, I can just do this, and but in book form. I can just have all like unlimited, rom-coms, but they're in books. And and that's actually like there was my life pre The Love Hypothesis and life post it, because that really is like when I started to be like I became like I was hungry for lunch, and my lunch was sexy books. So that's kind of been my journey for the last I guess like almost 4 years, right? I must say though, I've kind of hit like a slight reading slump at the moment. I have as my Goodreads reading goal, which again, like I don't live my life by, because I mean, it's enough, okay? Like if I don't reach it, that's so fine, because I've had years in the past where I'm like annoyed or stressed that I haven't reached my reading goal, and it's like, girl, actually, and we don't need to, not everything needs to be a competition with ourselves. We don't have to best ourselves constantly, especially when it's like a pleasurable activity like reading. Like, why do we need to like, and it's great if it works for you, but like it was putting stress on my reading, and I was like, whoa, this is actually crazy. But I think my goal is like 30 books. I think I read like 47 books last year, which is kind of crazy. And I know people on TikTok are like reading like hundreds of books, and it's also like, where do you get the time? But also work. I cannot wait for the Love Hypothesis movie to come out. I really think that's going to be the greatest day of my life. No, I'm obviously kidding, but I just think that like the director that did it, I've only seen the other movie she did. Was it called like The Setup? That was so fun. And so cute. The Love Hypothesis is outrageously cheesy, but like it's funny and it's cute, and you'll be like the whole time. And like there's something about me that I love, like an autistic coded man, right? I don't know what it is. Girls, it started with Mr. Darcy, right? I kind of love a man that's like, what? And I think I'd hate that in real life. No, I would not hate an autistic man. Whoa, that's not what I meant, okay? I would, that would be so fine. And I've never been with someone who's autistic that I know of. Right. So and now I'm digging myself into a hole. Girls, I love the autistic community. Okay. Like I'm also neurodivergent, so fun, so cute. What I'm trying to say is, right, like I think I would find it difficult to be with someone who found it difficult to socialize. But hey, that's because I find it difficult to socialize. And I'm so lucky that I'm married to a man that like, and he's not like he's not like shouting, screaming, roaring, but like he finds it easy to chat to people. And like, this is what I'll say. If I was bringing him to a party, I don't have to worry about him. And actually what he needs to do is worry about me more at parties, because Dylan loves, his favorite thing in the world is to go to a party and be like, see ya, and walk off. And I'll be like, please help me. I need more help than you do. Please. And we've talked about it, and it's okay now. And I wish that I wasn't this way. But alas, here we are. We can only work with the cards we're dealt with, right? But do love an autistic coded man but okay, no, let's rephrase it. I love like an autistic coded man who like fucks. Do you know what I mean? And like, Mr. Darcy fucks. right? But like, how could you couldn't be like particularly like skilled in the sex department if you you know weren't having much of it. Now at the same time, Regency era England, like the man could be riding around him till the cows came home. And sure, poor Lizzie, like what she never got a dicking down until Mr. Darcy. But like, I do feel like he probably treated her well. That's what my headcanon's telling me anyway, right? Like that's what I want to know more of. Anyway, I kind of just want to read every book to be like a reimagining of Pride and Prejudice. So if anyone, I want like a cheeky chappy girl with like a I love Grumpy Sunshine, and that's actually me. That's one of my favorite tropes. I have a couple that I really love. So that's one of them. I love when she's like, and then he's like, so I don't know what that's about. Maybe because I love a loud woman and a quiet man, and then I know, right, and I know that, yeah, sure. But the couples that I really like are always that combination. It's like the girl that's crazy and a bit like, "Bleh," and then a man that doesn't really speak. No, and I love that. I love it. Or a man that speaks but doesn't speak too much. And this is just a personal thing, I find it difficult when people in general think they're funny but they're not. And maybe I'm describing myself. No, I am funny. Alice, you are funny. Stop. You are funny. You go on stage and you make people laugh. People laugh at your stand up, okay? It's good. Great. See, this is just like some of the work I'm doing in therapy. Sorry, I'm eating pizza. Like, that's so rude. Like, do you want some? I know you don't want to hear me chew. I know that for sure. Other tropes that I like in rom-coms. Oh, there's so many. I love enemies to lovers. I mean, who doesn't, guys? Who doesn't? Who doesn't love like a little like, oh, this guy, oh, this fella, but then it's like, this fella, you know. Speaking of, I started watching Off Campus the other day, and guys, I haven't even gotten through episode 1. I know, like, put me in the clinker, like that's so terrible, and I know I'm gonna love it, but like, I did not read those books, just also to preface. Did I audibly laugh when his tattoo came on screen? Yeah. I did, because I was like, no, and I get it. No, and these books, no, and he has a tattoo, and it probably means something. It probably means something, and he doesn't like his dad. Oh, classic. Who does? No, I actually love my father, sorry. But like in these books, he always has daddy issues, and I love that. And I love that. They always have a weird relationship with their dad. It's like, you could just like check the boxes, right? I think I need to water my succulent, guys, so just bear with. No, actually, I think it's fine. Like, she is a succulent, like, you know, she sucks it up. She's like a dirty whore. Lady in my ceramics class asked me what my plant was called, and I said, sorry? She said, what are your plants' names? I said, you know what? I don't have names for my plants, but I should. So I'm going to name them soon. Guys, I love, my favorite trope is when he's been in love with her forever. No, and I don't know why. It's just like, it just does it for me. And like, not in a weird way, because I was watching this, and I know I said at the start of this podcast that we shouldn't judge people for saying they like sexy books, right? But the whole mafia romance thing, hey, you know, I'm not judging, and you do you, girly, and you do you, mama. But like, I'm not into them, because I have tried. I've read. I haven't made it through. I think I tried to, and I was like, actually, these are not for me. I was watching this video, and this girl was like, oh, this is such a good book, I loved it. Like, so basically, what happens is he's stalking her, but then she's also stalking him, so it's fine. Me, is it? No, is it though? Just because they're stalking each other, I don't think it makes it okay. I don't think, you know, two stalking cases cancel each other out. It's not like it goes to court and the judge is like, oh, well, if she was also stalking him, then that's fine. You guys can walk free. Because if it was only one of you, that would be weird. And it's coincidental that both of you are stalking each other, and then neither seem to have noticed. How does that work? Are they following each other around in a circle? Like, who's following who? You know? Who's following who? What came first? Stalker 1 or Stalker 2? I'm confused. Alas. But yeah, I love like I don't want him obsessed with her in a murdery kind of way, but it's just like I'm reading a book at the moment, and he's like her brother's best friend, and they like grew up together, and he was like always in love with her, obviously, but she kind of thought that he didn't like her, which is like, I believe, everyone's fantasy. I have an older brother, and like when his friends used to walk into the house when I was a kid, I'd be like, like, oh my god, men, they're men. They felt like men to me, and they were tall, and they all played rugby. No, that's not true, but some of them did, and they are lovely boys. Don't get me wrong. Like when I see them now, I'm like, hey girl, but like, you know, no, that's not true. Some of them are very good looking, actually. Some tropes that I don't love necessarily are like, now I've read second chance romance books that I have really enjoyed, so don't get me wrong, but sometimes, and maybe this is a toxic thought of mine, but sometimes I feel like people break up for a reason. Hey, and sometimes I just think that when you break up with someone, maybe it was for a reason. Maybe it was for a reason, and maybe you shouldn't get back together. But hey, there are obviously cases in the world where it works out perfectly. I do like second chance romances when it's like they broke up, they were like teenager, like, you know, they were like kids when they were dating, and then they broke up for whatever reason, and then they're like in their late 20s and then, or 30s or whatever, and they meet again. Okay, and this is maybe toxic of me, and I wonder when I have kids will things change, but if there's a child in a book, I'm not interested. I don't care. And I know that's weird, right? But it's like, if one of them has a child, I'm like, oh well, I don't care. I don't want to be here anymore. Sorry. I love like a little bit of a forbidden romance. Again, not in the mafia way of it all. Not in the, you know, not in the like, I'm gonna you know, like, we shouldn't be together for legal reasons. Like, that's not what I love. Like, I was reading this book once where there were stepbrothers, and I was like, no, this actually isn't okay, and I had to stop reading because I was like, they kept calling each other brother, and I was like, no, and guys, and no, and the truth of the matter is, like, you know, on porn websites, like, stepsister and stepmother are such a big thing because people just want to fuck their sister or their mom, and I don't know if people are ready to talk about that yet, but I just like, but the stepbrother of it all, I was like, I don't, why are they stepbrothers? And anyway, I stopped reading that pretty quick, because it just wasn't for me. And if it is for you, then that's okay. Okay, if that kind of level of forbidden is okay, like, is what you're into, like, okay, sure. Hey, you know what? I don't kink shame in this house. Great, but it's not for me. Yeah, but I like a forbidden romance in like in a less borderline illegal way. You know, like obviously I love Heated Rivalry, like, obviously I did, guys. I don't mean to brag, but I read that book like a while before the TV show came out. I didn't even know it was becoming a TV show, so I read it because I was going on my honeymoon. No, I read it before that. It was right before my wedding. I was kind of stressed. I wanted like a book that would like turn my head off, so I googled it and it came up, and I was like, okay, sure. And have I read like a hockey smutty romance before? Yeah, and I stopped reading it because I was like, I don't like this. Hey, and also, while we're on the topic, what is going on over in the ice rinks, mama? I want someone who actually like used to ice skate. Like, if you could tell me, like, are you all that horned up? What is that about? It's like, is it like the horniest sport? Like, what's going on? I do think we need more like sexy, like, GAA football and hurling books, and I don't think I'm going to be the one to do it, but I think someone should. I read Heated Rivalry. I ended up googling because I was like, that was a cute little fun book. I never thought I was ever going to think about it again. I was like, oh, that was kind of cute and fun. Yeah, it was cheesy. I thought the dialogue was good. I do think Rachel Reed, is that her name? Yes, is very good at writing dialogue. I think she writes like genuinely funny things. And well, you know what, especially compared to some of the other romance I read, because like, holy moly, sometimes I'm reading things and I'm like, has this author had a conversation in her life ever? Or his? I don't read book by men. I rarely read books by men, because you know what, I've heard enough. Yes, and then I found out it was a TV show, and then the TV show came out, and for a while there, guys, my life was ruined. No, let's talk about it. Hey, guys. I don't know if you know about this about me, but I have ADHD. Ha ha ha. And I get hyperfixations. Okay, and I never see them coming, and I never want them to be there. But sometimes things find me, and as I always describe it, it's like their claws like gets into the folds of my brain, and I can't get them out. And heated rivalry was one of them. No, and I'm ashamed to admit it, guys. I had to delete Twitter, which was a long time coming anyway, but my whole thing was heated rivalry, and I was like, I'm actually like, the opinions that people have about the cast and the crew and the creators around this, I actually can't read anymore. And I had to go onto Instagram, and I had to block every word or every name that I thought was going to be related to heated rivalry, because it was becoming like an actual issue. I think it was just every flipping post on my Instagram thing. Like, I was seeing photographs of those two men more than I was seeing like my own reflection at that stage. And I was like, this is actually, and I love it, and I can't wait for season 2, and like I will unblock. But guys, actually the Instagram block feature is not good, because I keep seeing that. How many times can one person, aka me, just watch a compilation of them kissing? Because I've done it, and I do, and it still comes up, and I still watch them. And I try not to like encourage the algorithm, so like I won't press, but I'll like watch the little preview in my explore page. I fear I've said too much, but it's too much, and a hyperfixation is not, it's not fun. It is at the start, don't get me wrong, it is at the start, but then it becomes, it's like, oh, it's now my every waking moment thought is about a TV show that like was like, that does it, like that was, hey, and it's fun and it's cute and I love every second of it. And yes, have I watched it 3 times? Sure. Am I going to be the first person there for season 2? Yes. Have I read The Long Game? Of course I have. Will I read the 3rd one? Obviously. But the point I'm trying to make is I like a forbidden romance. And because, they were like, heated rivalry, it's like, oh, we shouldn't be doing this, but I must. That emotion I really like. It's like, no, and we shouldn't, but I will. I think that kind of yearning is beautiful. It's like society's telling me I shouldn't, but my penis is telling me I should. And in other situations, like the stepbrother of it all. Hey, I'm not here to tell you shouldn't fuck your stepbrother. You can do what you do with your time is your own business. But and I've never had a step sibling, so, and maybe I don't, so I don't know. But I would like to think that I wouldn't do that. But again, you know what? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Great. I'm gonna leave this here. Right, we've had fun. You've learned a little bit more about my book genre preferences. I would love to hear yours. If you have any recommendations, please let me know. Like every week, keys, phone, pussy, attitude. I'll see you next week.